Let's be clear from the start, women don't reject sex. They reject men who fail to create desire. That's the harsh truth most guys don't want to hear. If you've ever been told, "I'm not ready yet," or you've had a woman laugh, enjoy your company, then suddenly vanish, the problem wasn't that she didn't want intimacy, the problem was that she didn't want it with you. Most men believe that asking for sex directly makes them respectful or considerate, but the reality is brutal. The more you ask, the more you lose power, and the less she feels attraction. Women aren't waiting for permission requests, they're waiting for presence, confidence, and energy that naturally pulls them in. If you're still begging for affection, like a boy asking for candy, you'll never experience what it feels like to have a woman burn with real desire for you. In this video, you're going to learn the psychological principle that flips everything. Intimacy is never requested, it's provoked. This might sting, but it's a truth you need to hear. Women don't reject sex, they reject weak energy. When a man approaches with insecurity, doubt, or neediness, her attraction collapses instantly. It's not that she doesn't like intimacy, it's that she doesn't feel it with him. Most men stumble here. They think that being good, polite, or overly respectful will somehow ignite desire. But those qualities often spark trust, sympathy, or friendship, not passion. Female desire connects to strength and direction, not aggression, but masculine clarity and presence. A woman doesn't dream about the man nervously asking, "Is it okay if I kiss you?" She dreams about the one who makes her feel a rush in her stomach before a single word is spoken. Here's the common scenario. A man takes a woman out on several dates, pays for everything, behaves perfectly. She laughs, seems to enjoy it. But when he leans in, she says, "Not yet." He thinks, "I'll respect her process." Inside, she's thinking, "He's nice, but I don't feel the spark." Then she either ghosts him or worse, falls into the arms of another man who wasn't so polite but carried undeniable confidence. That guy didn't ask permission, he projected energy she couldn't resist. Does it feel unfair? Maybe. But desire isn't about fairness, it's about nature. Weak, uncertain energy doesn't provoke attraction. The answer isn't to beg harder. The answer is to stop chasing approval. Stop waiting for the perfect sign and start owning your desire without shame. This is where stoicism matters. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. A stoic man feels desire but doesn't become its slave. He doesn't hide it, and he doesn't apologize for it. He channels it calmly, confidently. That's what makes him magnetic. That's what women notice. Not the words, not the gestures, but the steady presence that says, "I know who I am, and I don't need permission to exist." Here's a harsh truth that no one tells you every time you ask for permission. You give away your power. And once you lose power, you lose attraction. Women don't crave a man who waits for step-by-step instructions like a child. They crave a man who leads with calm certainty. Think about the typical phrases men use. "Can I kiss you? Do you want me to hold your hand? Is it okay if we sleep together?" To the man, those words sound respectful. To the woman, they signal hesitation, doubt, and insecurity. And nothing extinguishes desire faster than a man who doesn't know how to move with conviction. Female desire is not logical. It's reactive. She responds to what you project in the moment. If you project doubt, she feels coldness. If you project confidence without a single word, she feels desire. This is where stoicism becomes powerful. The stoic man doesn't ask permission to act, he simply moves with calm, grounded energy. If she doesn't want it, she'll stop him, but most of the time, she was waiting for him to take that step all along. Picture this, you're at your place, the energy is flowing, she's laughing, leaning closer. Her body language says she's open. You want to kiss her. But instead of leaning in, you break the tension with "Can I kiss you?" Her smile falters. Her mood shifts, and the moment collapses. Not because she didn't want it, but because you doubted yourself first. And she mirrored that doubt. Now imagine the opposite. You hold her gaze. Lean in slowly. Let the silence stretch. She feels the tension rise. Her breathing shifts. Her body responds. You didn't need to ask. You led, calmly and confidently. That kind of presence is irresistible. Leadership and intimacy isn't about being aggressive or disrespectful. It's about trusting your energy, reading her signals, and moving with intention. A man who waits loses. A man who leads creates desire. Stop asking permission, lead, or lose. Most men keep failing with women because they treat attraction like a formula. Be nice, be patient, be attentive, and eventually she'll want me. But female desire doesn't operate that way. It isn't logical, and it can't be earned like points in a game. Desire is emotional, instinctive, and above all, silent. A woman may say she wants a kind, stable, sensitive man, yet her body is drawn to a man who doesn't check any of those boxes. Why? Because what she says often doesn't match what she feels. If you take her words as literal instructions, you will always end up confused. That's why men get frustrated. They say things like, but I did everything right. She told me she wasn't ready. But days later, she was with another guy. I don't understand what she wants. The truth is, it's not about what she says she wants. It's about how desire actually works. Female desire isn't reasoned into existence. It doesn't come from safe routines, predictable gestures, or perfectly chosen words. It comes from mystery, tension, energy, and presence. A woman may tell you she likes you, respects you, even calls you a great guy. But if you never moved her emotionally, she will never feel that deeper pull. This is the core mistake men try to earn desire with logic when they should be provoking it with presence. When you stop chasing explanations and start sparking feelings, when you stop being the predictable, always available good guy, and instead carry yourself with mystery and grounded confidence, that's when she feels it. Not in her head, but in her body. Many men obsess over what to say as if the perfect sentence will unlock attraction. But here's the truth. Your body, your presence, and your energy communicate long before your words ever reach her. If your sexual energy is weak, shaky, or hidden, she feels it instantly, and nothing you say will matter. You can rehearse lines of confidence, but if your eyes flicker, if your shoulders are tense, if your vibe screams, please approve of me, she sees right through it. Women are experts at sensing energy. They may smile, they may even play along, but internally, they feel no spark. One of the biggest problems modern men face is repression. They've buried their sexual energy under layers of politeness, social rules, and good guy behavior. They hide it, disguise it, and minimize it until it disappears. Then they wonder why women constantly see them as safe friends rather than men they crave. But women don't want a man who hides his desire. They want a man who owns it, not by being reckless or pushy, but by containing it, directing it, and letting it radiate in a controlled way. This is where stoicism becomes essential. A stoic man isn't cold or emotionless. He feels desire fully, but he doesn't let it control him. He can look at a woman with calm, steady eyes that say, I want you, and I'm not ashamed of it. He doesn't need to announce his attraction. His energy already speaks louder than words. Repress your energy, and you lose presence. Let it spill out uncontrolled, and you lose respect, but master it, and you become magnetic. Women can feel the difference. They're drawn to the man whose energy is powerful, steady, and unapologetic. That's sexual energy in its purest form. And it's more persuasive than any line you could ever say. One of the biggest killers of attraction is reactivity. Most men today are far too reactive, and women can sense it instantly. If she doesn't reply to a text, he gets anxious. If she posts something on social media, he assumes it's about him. If she pulls away, he chases harder, Every move she makes controls his emotions. And when she controls his emotions, she loses desire. Women are attracted to men who remain steady, no matter what. A man who doesn't crumble because she gave a cold response. A man who doesn't obsess over every little signal. A man who doesn't need constant reassurance to feel good about himself. That kind of stability is rare, and it's exactly why it's so valuable. When you stop reacting to her every move, something powerful happens. She starts reacting to you. Suddenly, she wonders, why doesn't he chase me like the others? Why is he so calm when I ignore him? Why can't I figure him out? That mystery is what sparks her curiosity and desire. Here's the paradox. Cold men who show no emotion push women away. Overly emotional men who beg for attention exhaust them. But the man who stays centered, who feels deeply but isn't controlled by those feelings, ignites a fire inside her. He becomes the challenge, the man she can't manipulate, the man she can't predict. And women are endlessly drawn to what they can't fully control. The Stoic man embodies this perfectly. He feels, but he doesn't react impulsively. He observes, but he doesn't collapse under pressure. He stays rooted in his own path, his own mission. And because he doesn't orbit around her emotions, she starts to orbit around his. That's when she shifts from testing you to craving you. Here's one of the most powerful and least discussed truths about female desire when she feels like it was her idea. The attraction multiplies. It's not that you should sit back passively, it's that you should create the environment so she feels compelled to cross the line herself. Most men ruin this by pressuring. They blurt out lines like, when is something going to happen between us? Don't you want to stay the night? I like you too much. I can't wait. In their minds, they're being honest. But in her mind, the tension dies instantly. There's no mystery, no choice, no spark left. It feels like she's being cornered rather than drawn in. The truth is, women feel the most excitement when they decide to take that step. She doesn't want to feel pushed, she wants to feel pulled. And you create that pull not with words, but with presence. With the calmness in your body language, the intensity in your eyes, the silence you're comfortable holding. The less you push, the more the energy builds. Picture this, you're sitting close, conversation flowing, the air charged. You don't rush. You don't fidget. You don't beg for a kiss. You stay relaxed, grounded, steady. Suddenly, she pauses, bites her lip, leans in, and whispers something like, "Are you always this confident?" That's her opening the door. That's her choosing you. The trick is simple but rare. Don't demand it. Provoke it. When she feels safe but can't resist the energy between you, she'll be the one to suggest it first. And when that happens, the desire is real, raw, and unstoppable. Here's the blunt truth. If you ever find yourself asking for sex, you've already lost. Because when intimacy has to be requested, it's no longer desire, it's pity. Real attraction doesn't come from convincing a woman to say yes. It comes from sparking something inside her that makes her want to say yes on her own. Women don't crave men who beg, chase, or plead. They crave men who project presence, who lead with quiet confidence, who carry a kind of energy that pulls them in without a word. That's the kind of man who never needs to ask because his energy already answers the question. If you're not there yet, don't worry. That's why this channel exists, to help you build discipline, presence, and the kind of magnetic power that makes women feel desire instead of obligation. Because once you understand how female attraction really works, you'll never look at women the same way again. So tell me, have you ever lost the spark by asking permission? Or noticed how a woman lights up when you stay calm and centered? Share your story in the comments below. I read them all. And if you're ready to stop begging for attention and start commanding desire, hit subscribe now. This is just the beginning.